At this point, I've got all of my questions and all of my answers in. So we will go ahead and we'll do the settings. I always like to check. It's a 10 question quiz, and up at the top it says that I've got 10 points. So that means I've got the right number of questions. We'll go in and we'll look at the quiz later. I always like to take it just to be sure everything's working properly. So in order to fix the settings here for this, it's the little cog. So we'll click on him. I like to go ahead and collect email addresses, which gives the option of response receipts. I select always. That way when they take the quiz, they have a list of their responses. If they want to go back and look at those to study, or if they want to go back and edit them, it emails it right to them. It's also just kind of nice to have a record that they did it and that you know that they've received confirmation. So it is requiring sign-in, and it's restricted to our users. For this case, if it were an actual quiz or an assessment, I would select a limit to 1 response because I wouldn't want them to go in and change their answers or to have duplicate responses and such. But where we are going to have them, we're going to allow them to take the quiz as many times as they want because it's more of an informal activity. I'm going to leave that blank, and so they can go in and do that. Another option might be to say edit after submit, and that would enable them to go back in and actually change their answers if they want. But logistically, I think sometimes it's easier just to have them take the form again for grading and whatnot. Next, I want to say presentation. Okay. If I had multiple sections, the progress bar is nice so they know what they're doing. Shuffling the question order is something that can be done. I'm just going to go ahead and check that. It doesn't really matter because they're at home and the questions aren't in any real particular order anyway, so we'll click it. Confirmation message, you can just say your response has been recorded, or if you want to edit it there and say something wonderful, you can do that. And then finally, for quizzes, this is where we want to make sure that it auto-grades. So we say make this a quiz. We don't need to do locked mode because that's not a big deal. For this, I want it to just go ahead and grade it automatically after they get done so that I don't have to go in and do anything for it. If I'm requiring questions that they have text responses or something like that, sometimes I'll turn that on later after manual review so that I can go in and I can look at each of those before I actually release their real grade. Okay, so we'll do immediately. Down here for this one, again, since this is a quiz that they can take multiple times, I actually don't want them to have the correct answers at this point in time. I want them to be able to go in and try to puzzle through those answers when they take the form again. So missed questions, we want to show them that so they know which ones to fix. And then point values. What a lot of my students will do when they take a form twice, they will work with that Google form up in front of them with the missed questions, and they'll do a split screen. So they have the new screen and the split screen. So they can keep track of which ones they need to fix. And then we'll go save. He is ready to share. So in that case, all we need to do is go send. Since we're going to be posting these on Hapara, I am going to get a link. There's 1,000,001 ways to share it. Everything from email to which interfaces with your Gmail account. So it's got all your contacts in there. Our link, which is what we're going to use. And then if you ever wanted to embed something like this, you could embed it. Although I would never have the height be that big. Okay, so we'll go in here. We're going to copy this link. At which point we go back into our workspace. We're going to click on the plus. And we're going to call this 12.1. Lauren likes to use all caps, so I will too. Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution. And let's see what she did for hers. Okay, and then I'm going to copy that. I'll use the same kind of text when I go and I fix this. For now, I'm just going to show you how to post the link. So we'll go in here, we're going to go back to edit, and then we'll click the link here so we can paste our link. And then I'm going to press Control V to paste that link into the field. Validate the link by pressing next to it, and it is ready to go. And so I'll say done. Okay. And then of course, if I want to go in and I want to make the color to match, I can click on that button again and say, oh, let's make him a blue guy. Okay. So this is how it's going to look to the student, and they're going to go through and enter their answers. Okay. And their questions. There's their drop-down list, and they can select from it. One of the bummers of having that big list when you're in a situation where it's a matching style quiz rather than a simple multiple choice is that it does have this long list, and then it doesn't record which answers you've already used. So that's kind of a bummer. If I'm in a classroom setting and I'm trying to do this, oftentimes what I'll do is just print the kids a little sheet of paper so that they can cross them off as they go, so they've got some kind of a record of that. They could certainly do the same thing at home, but not a big deal because we're just we're using it as a class grade and a retakeable quiz rather than a major grade. So that is that. They will submit these, and I will show you the final response, how it looks to them here in a second. When they get done taking the quiz, this is what they see. It allows you to submit another response there, so they can go in and do that. It also allows you to view the score, so they can take a look and see what they got right and what they got wrong. Turning it green if it's right, turning it red if it's gone, and showing them their score on that. So I didn't do very well because I just went through and clicked buttons. At any rate, so that is their end of the quiz. I'm going to wait and I'm going to show you our end of the quiz and scoring in another video here. But before I go, let me show you what it looks like in their email when it sends them their response. Say they accidentally closed out of it or something. They would still be able to go in and look at their response. So they get an email that has the name, is from Google Forms, and it has the name. And then once again, they can go back into that and view their score. It also populates right there in the Google form. So there's a lot of other things you can do, but I think that gets to the heart of what we're trying to accomplish right now.